Let's get to your favorite person, Asim Munir. Favorite in quotes. Asim Munir, when we were starting the show and we were talking about his latest threat, you said this is as expected, but it's a little bit intriguing what's going on because there are so many moving pieces. Let's first play this statement. He actually wants to say or partially says that in this nuclear age you can't have war, but then goes on to make a pretty provocative and inflammatory threat against India. Take a look.
Decisive blow to the adversary. Should a fresh wave of hostilities be triggered, Pakistan would respond much beyond the expectations of the initiators. With diminishing distinction between combat and communication zones, the reach and lethality of our weapon systems will shatter the misconceived immunity of India's geographic vastness. The deeply hurting retributive military and economic losses inflicted will be much beyond the imagination and calculations of the perpetrators of chaos and instability. I advise and firmly caution the Indian military leadership that there is no space for war in a nuclearized environment. Settle the core issues with Pakistan as per the international norms on the basis of equality and mutual respect. We will never be intimidated nor coerced by your rhetoric and shall respond decisively beyond proportions to even a minor provocation without any qualms.
All right. Now, the important part in that is that even if there's a minor provocation in his words, we will respond beyond proportion. Beyond proportion. So, there is India, which even after Pahalgam will say, look, we only want to target the terror bases. If you don't respond, we will not take this further. Pakistan responds, Op Sindoor becomes what it does. And then there is Munir, who says, even a minor provocation, as he calls it, will see something beyond proportion. The last time Munir made crazy speech, 2 days later or 3 days later, was Pahalgam. I'm not trying to forecast anything here, God forbid. I'm just saying, what is this? Is this just saber rattling? What's going on? There's a border inflamed with Afghanistan. Is this an emboldened Munir because of Trump's tilt? What is going on here?
So, Barkha, one, it is the most stupid general who wants to open a second front while one front is already
Exactly.
So, he might be Trump's favorite field marshal, but he's a remarkably stupid man. Apart from being a highly bigoted kind of a fellow, he's an Islamist in a Pakistan army uniform, to put it very simply. That is one. Secondly, there is also a factor that at a time when within the Pakistani public discourse, there is this thing that we are being caught on two fronts. He is basically indulging in the typical Punjabi bluster of saying, just because my Western front is active right now, don't think you can do even a minor provocation to me on the Eastern front because I'll respond disproportionately. So that's the message he's trying to give us, right? And in part of that message is an old one that the Pakistanis say that our doctrine is that if you do something, it will be quid pro quo plus. Okay. Whatever that plus is, but that plus turned into a bit of a minus last time around when they tried to do something. The third message he's trying to give us is, and which is, I think, a very, very dangerous message, not because India and Pakistan have not fought wars in the past, but because of what it means in a future conflict. So what were the wars that we fought in the past? In fact, in many ways, we fought very gentlemanly wars. We never targeted population centers. We never targeted economic centers of each other. Maybe an odd bomb here or there, but otherwise, we never targeted any public infrastructure unless it had some great strategic value. But otherwise, we did not do any of that. They didn't do it to us. We didn't do it to them. So it was a very gentlemanly, very chivalrous kind of wars that we fought with each other. And I know some of the people who will watch your program saying, what about all those rockets that were launched on civilian areas in Jammu? Well, that's a different matter. But by and large, you understand what I'm saying. What Munir is now indicating is that next time around, we will not only target your population centers, we will target your economic centers. Bangalore, Bombay, Hyderabad, all of these places, because we have missiles which can reach out there. So yes, at one level, this should tell our armed forces, if they were to wake up, that listen, guys, your defense preparations and your air defense system, which is why I think the Prime Minister was speaking about that what I think Sudarshan Chakra or whatever he called it.
Yes.
One of the reasons for that is, and why we need to break the goddamn bureaucracy in this country and really move fast to develop that, that Sudarshan Chakra which he's speaking about. And even the Fauji's and their bureaucracy needs to get off, that bureaucratic malaise that equips them, apart from the civil bureaucracy. The Fauji bureaucracy is just as bad. But the fact of the matter remains, he's telling you, he's giving you advance notice, then I'm going to target all these places. So we need to, one, beef up our defenses on that point. Secondly, I think next time around, if they are going to be doing this, then I think we need to also convey to them that it doesn't take much to destroy Lahore, Karachi, and Islamabad, and Pakistan is left with nothing after that. So they need to understand that this dangerous clown who they have first made army chief and now appointed as field marshal, and Nawaz Sharif has always done this. He's always picked the wrong man for the job, right? So he's picked yet another character, completely loony character whom he's put out there, who thinks that he can scare everybody with this kind of talk. But, this is utter nonsense. A lot of it is boilerplate rhetoric which generals give. But the fact of the matter remains that if these idiots in Pakistan think, and I really have nothing but contempt for these fellows because they're so intellectually poor. If he thinks that he can actually start dictating terms, that you come to the table and follow this, go FO, man. It's as simple as that. That's not going to happen, right? You can't do it to the Afghans, forget about us. So this mindset with which these idiots are operating, I think it's a very dangerous mindset. I think it's more dangerous for them because, like Mao said, he warned the Americans once that if you were ever to think of throwing nuclear bombs on me, 600 million Chinese will die, but there'll be another 100 million to make China great again. I'd say the same thing to these fellows. If you were ever to attempt something like this, 500 million Indians will die, but there'll still be 1 billion Indians left to kick your ass. So understand this, they need to get off this hobby horse. And exactly what they're demanding of the Taliban, right, is what we are asking of them. End the nurseries of terrorism, dismantle the infrastructure of terrorism, stop exporting terrorism into India, and that's it. We are not asking for anything different. But how is it that when their guys get killed, it matters, but when they do the same thing to the other guy, he doesn't have a right to respond? Of course, we have a right to respond. And of course,
so I want to play out Rajnath Singh's statement has come just in the last few moments while we've been talking, calling Operation Sindoor a trailer, also talking about how every inch of Pakistan is now within the range of the BrahMos. I want to play out this statement. So this is, it is at least at the level of rhetoric, something seems to be escalating between India and Pakistan. Let me play out the statement and then we'll come right back.
और ऑपरेशन सिंदूर में जो हुआ वह तो सिर्फ ट्रेलर था मेरे साथियों। ऑपरेशन सिंदूर में जो हुआ वह तो केवल एक ट्रेलर था, पर उस ट्रेलर ने ही पाकिस्तान को यह एहसास दिला दिया कि अगर भारत पाकिस्तान को जन्म दे सकता है तो समय आने पर वह, अब आगे मुझे बोलने की कोई जरूरत नहीं है। आप सब
So he's basically, that's a clip of his a longer bit, but if India could birth Pakistan, it can ... right? And he is speaking here, you can see the BrahMos missiles. He was speaking at a function where, the BrahMos it was the flag off ceremony there for the BrahMos. How do you what do you make of this escalating rhetoric?
Barkha, I can understand that if it's a political meeting, you're making certain statements. But in a place like this, I don't think the Raksha Mantri should have said what he did. It's one thing to make political statements in the political arena, but this was not the political arena, at least not in my view. Secondly, I think there needs to be a certain gravitas when the Raksha Mantri speaks. So he needs to be a little careful on how he's. But that maybe I'm being very conventional and about it. But I am one of those who believes, yeah, keep quiet, build up your strength,
Yeah.
and other than announcing on newspaper headlines that how you have reverse engineered a certain missile and brought in
Yeah.
those systems in your. Why do you need to say that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Surprise the guy, right?
Basically, speak with actions, not words.
This bloody voyeurism which is there in us, that everybody wants to brag about things and then let out everything, say everything कि हमने सब कुछ कर दिया, हमने ये. Like I said, maybe I'm a little conventional and conservative on these matters. It's not something which I would strongly recommend for serious people. And frankly, I think Rajnath Singh is a serious man.
So-
He's not a chichora. So I don't think it behoves him to speak in this, at least not when it's not a public, it's not a political forum. Political forum में तो बहुत बोल दिया जाता है. It's okay. But this was not the occasion.
So talking about the serious people, this is the opposite of serious, but he's the most powerful, arguably the most powerful person in the world, Donald Trump. Trump has commented, he's of course repeated ad nauseum all his various claims about India, Pakistan, about India's purchase of Russian oil. But he's also spoken of the Pak-Afghan conflict. And I just want to play that out and come back to you for last comments. Take a look.
This is pretty much the last one, although I do understand that Pakistan attacked, or there is an attack going on with Afghanistan. That's an easy one for me to solve if I have to solve it. In the meantime, I have to run the USA, but I love solving wars. You know why? I like stopping people from being killed, and I've saved millions and millions of lives, and I think we're going to have success with this war.
Well, at least he says Pakistan attacked Afghanistan. He got that part right. He's emboldened. He's on a high after the Gaza Pact. You saw what happened there. Starmer getting snubbed, Shehbaz Sharif getting the stage. Munir, maybe, yes, I agree with you that because, one border is inflamed, he's sort of telling India that doesn't mean you can try anything. I guess he's trying to say that. But is he also emboldened because of Trump's very public tilt towards him in Pakistan?
Well, I would imagine so. I think that the Pakistanis are pretty enthused that there is this pact between India and the United States, and it gives them an in with the US, which otherwise had just, cast them aside and found no utility in Pakistan. That the fact that Trump finds certain utility in Pakistan will, of course, embolden them, and they also have this tendency of being Sheikh chilies in their own right. So they then start imagining how life will be when America comes back and embraces them and takes them to bed once again. They become America's favorite concubine state. So yeah, that is certainly something which attracts them hell of a lot. Whether that happens or not, or Trump is just using them, we don't know. We'll wait and see. But there is, Trump's obsession with, making peace deals. Let's see how long the Gaza peace deal lasts. Let's see whether he can get one with Ukraine. And I would love for him to step into the AFPAC peace deal. Let's see how that works out for him. Last time he thought there was a very easy peace deal available between Russia and Ukraine. He said, that's just gone out of control. maybe if he steps into the AFPAC thing, he'll do everybody a favor by making it go out of control. So let's wait and see how it works out.